Hey guys, it's Lauren Scott here, and today I wanted to talk to you about conquering your fear and walking by faith. Now for me, walking by faith is one of the hardest things that God calls us to do because faith isn't a tangible thing. You can't buy anything with faith. You can't trade faith in for Instagram likes. You can't post faithfulness on Facebook. Faith can't take you out on a date. How do you use it? And of course, it's so easy to say that you're walking in faith when stuff is going good. Like when your relationship is going smoothly, you guys are #couple goals, or when you just got into your dream school that you've wanted to go into since you were a little kid, or when work is going great and you just got that raise, right? But okay, is it just me, or does it feel like sometimes God shakes things up a bit to just force us to rely on Him a little bit more? And then all of a sudden you're like, whoa, God, you want me to break up with him? God, you want me to move where for work? God, I hate my major and I want to quit all my classes. Like, I can't be the only one who wakes up some days and wants to text God like, excuse me, sir. God, what is going on? And when life gets a little crazy, it's not just one thing, right? All of a sudden, it seems like everything is going crazy. You have a ridiculous bill you can't pay. A loved one is sick. You get passed over for a promotion. And everything all at once just feels impossible. I want us to take a look at Matthew 14:28. It says, "And Peter answered him, 'Lord, if it is you, command me to come to you on the water.' He said, 'Come.' So Peter got out of the boat and walked on the water and came to Jesus. But when he saw the wind, he was afraid, and beginning to sink, he cried out, 'Lord, save me.' Jesus immediately reached out his hand and took hold of him, saying to him, 'Oh, you of little faith, why did you doubt?' And when they got into the boat, the wind ceased." And can we all just take a quick second to put ourselves in Peter's shoes? Because the Bible says this happened around 3 a.m. in the morning. There was a massive storm. It's pitch black. It's the middle of the night. Okay, the wind is howling. The waves are coming. There's no Coast Guard. There's no flare guns to shoot off. And I'm sure Peter, like many of us would be, was terrified. And in life, we have storms like this, right? That thing that just has you holding on to the edge, trying not to fall off the boat. Maybe it's a relationship that you're not quite sure how to mend, or a task that just seems way over your head. And then get this, that's not even the craziest part. Peter sees Jesus walking on water. And then Jesus calls for Peter to get out of the boat and then walk on the water. I mean, we have to commend Peter here, right? Because he actually got out of the boat. So often we ask God to get us out of a crazy situation, and then so to fix it, God puts us in a situation that is even crazier, right? Like, walk on water? What God? And I know a lot of us would say that we jump out of that boat and just run to Jesus, right? But how often do we question what God is asking us to do because it's scary? I feel like so much of my 20s was God taking me out of storm after storm, many of which I put myself into, and me just fighting Him on it the whole way. But thank God for His grace and His mercy, right? A little bit about me. I graduated from college nearly 6 years ago, and since then I've bounced around the country working in TV news, which that could be a whole other video in itself because that's a whole other struggle. So I was the morning reporter for a TV station in Omaha, Nebraska, and real quick, I wanted to spell one of the biggest rumors about TV news, and that is
TV news is so glamorous.
No.
I had to be at work come rain, sleet, snow, ice storm, tornado. Didn't matter. 2 a.m. I had to be there, sometimes earlier, because there had to be a person actually reporting on the things that are happening, and that person would be me. I also missed basically all holidays, family celebrations. I worked weekends. The hours were unpredictable at times. The pay wasn't that good. And no one did my makeup for me. Now, okay, don't get me wrong. There are definitely some perks to working in TV news. It's not the worst job in the world. But at the end of my 2-year contract, the pros just did not outweigh the cons for me. I had constant anxiety. A lot of times I couldn't sleep because I was so afraid that I would oversleep. I would just be crying sometimes out of nowhere. And I just really needed a change. I no longer enjoyed my job. So my contract was coming to an end and I knew I couldn't stay there anymore. I needed a change. So what did I do? Applied to more TV reporter positions in random cities. Guys, it was all I knew. It was safe. I knew I could do that job, even if it made me miserable. But after applying and not getting the results that I wanted, finally went, maybe I should talk to God. So I'm like, hey God, trying to make this move. What's up? And he's like, move to Chicago. Yo, okay, well, Chicago's the number 3 market. I don't have an agent. There's also no job in Chicago. So that doesn't seem like that's gonna work, God. So really, where should I go? Move to Chicago. Ooh, you're funny. Okay, God, but I can't move back to Chicago without a job because my family won't understand if people will be asking too many questions. So, and it would like be really embarrassing to do that, right? So, God, please open another door, any other door. I need a door to walk through. Thanks, Lord. So I did it. I packed my entire life up, swallowed my pride, and moved into my younger brother's spare bedroom in Chicago. And I still remember looking at all my stuff in boxes in his basement and tears coming down my face and just thinking, God, why am I here? This doesn't make sense. And I was unemployed for 4 months. And that I was stressed out, right? But little did I know that even when I was back in Omaha, God was opening doors that I didn't even know existed. The entire time he was orchestrating each move and putting me exactly where I needed to be. A position at a local TV show that I have always wanted to be a part of just happened to become available. And I didn't have an agent. It was an extremely sought after position, and all I could do was just email the producer. That was all I had. And I thought there was no chance that he would actually reply, right? But he did. And then he just kept replying. And the conversation continued and the interview process went on, and I got the job. The deck was so stacked against me, but believe me when I tell you, when God opens a door for you, no man can close it. But those 4 months without a job were not easy. Okay, remember when I said that you'll get a storm and then also it seemed like a bunch of other storms were just coming out of nowhere at you. My relationship at the time of 5 years was falling apart. I had no money. My family, as well-meaning as they were constantly asking me what my next step was, what I was doing. But remember, the only time that Peter started to sink is when he let the wind distract him and he took his eyes off of Jesus. And when you're walking by faith, prepare to look stupid sometimes. I did. People were constantly asking me what I was doing, and all I could say was, I don't know, I feel like God has something here for me in Chicago. And imagine if I had let those other people influence me. I would have rushed to sign a contract at another TV news station that I did not like, worked for another 2 or 3 years, and had to wait for God to finally be like, hey girl, you ready this time? Peter looked crazy. Walking on water didn't make sense. But God doesn't need things to make sense for him to make it happen. So no matter what you're going through right now, I pray that you keep your eyes on Jesus. Walk by faith, no matter how scary the situation might seem. Now, when I'm going through a storm, it helps me to stay in God's word. So down below, I added some links to songs that I like to listen to and sermons that I think might help you feel better. Thanks so much for hanging out with me, guys. I hope you found this helpful in some way. And while I have you here, please like and subscribe. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram at It's Lawrence Scott. See ya.